Well, hey there, Anitta fans. It's Ken Lawson, Renaissance Man. And I'm back with Anitta finally. I know it's a little late getting here, but honestly, as I've gone to shoot it and then had to go out of town for a couple of days, I've done all my research, and it was such a ton of research that it was a little daunting to get started shooting it because I know that it's multiple songs. It's a 35-minute short film, and I wasn't sure I'd be able to tell where the transitions took place, and I had to translate bunches of stuff. It was very daunting. I'm going to put out a video about me doing it, so hopefully you'll look forward to that and see that. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. I'm going to kind of take in the video as what it is and be putting a lot of the writing on screen, of research that I found. And like I said, she put a lot of thought into all of the makeup of this short film. So it kind of deserved the research that I gave it. And there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of references to candomblé, Orishas, just so many things that I needed to, be able to understand going into the video. And now I'll just appreciate her vision, and then I will talk about the lyrics and all of those things as we go on. And we'll see how it goes. I have no idea how I'm going to tackle this, but we're about to find out. All right? Now, I haven't watched any of the video or done the lyrics yet, so we'll be getting into that as we go. What's funny is that artwork actually resembles something of the feminine. Although I don't know that that's what it was intended to do. Oh, I didn't expect to start with the acoustic. And I know that she does reference Carmen Miranda in this quite a bit. See, my first screw up. Got to change the subtitles from Portuguese to English. Of course, I'll be doing the lyrics off of Genius Lyrics, so these may be right, they may not. We'll see. But I'll pay more attention to the lyrics when I read them on Genius Lyrics. But yeah, Carmen Miranda is a big influence on her, so. Oh, I really love the mix on the acoustics.
Oh, meu amor, quantos oceanos vou ter que chorar, enquanto os pedaços vão me desdobrar, até merecer enfim o seu olhar. Oh, meu amor, me enfeitei de cores, brilho paetê.
I love the traditionality of this.
Pra te convencer, quase deixei meu samba acabar.
Ooh, did you hear the layered harmonies come in on the sides?
Eu fiz tudo pra você gostar de mim.
Ooh, love the groove of this.
Você tem que me dar seu coração.
She looks so different.
O meu bloco é tão vazio sem você.
Oh, wow.
Na categoria amor não vou vencer. Tomara que isso não passe na TV. Meu amor, antes que o amor desapareça.
Love the black and white.
Deixa eu tentar frutas na cabeça. Quem sabe um docinho te apeteça. Eu te ganhei pelo paladar. Tá aí, eu fiz tudo.
Oh, that's a good place to pause. Wow. Off to such a good start. I especially love that she, really embraced the Carmen Miranda look. And her makeup on it is just stunning. It's so natural, but but bold, you know, just kind of like her. She's just naturally bold. And of course, her being beautiful and fit and a dancer and all of those things really helps because, I mean, it really gets across what she's going for. And the parts of her, you know, being in the spotlight and soaking in all the adoration and all that, but then showing the press and the flashes and all that almost being like the downside of being that revered. Really cool. And then it transitioning to this black and white, which she reminded me of Ray right there. But it almost feels like, you know, the big brash colorful thing is her, and then now we're to the personal part of her that's inside that isn't all the color and everything, it's just her. But I want to hear where the drums come in. Boy, beautiful lighting. I love this. Oh. Oh, beautiful mix. Ooh, wow. That is so cool. I wanted to pause. I'm going to want to pause lots of places. You hear the horns? Beautiful. I like the sparseness of the horns, not overpowering it. Ooh, wow. Ooh.
Eu preciso saber meu futuro. Tira umas cartas pra mim, eu tô sentindo uma angústia impossível. Só querem saber da estrela. E se eu estiver cansada de ser a estrela? Todo mundo vai embora também. É uma sensação de que eu tenho tudo, mas eu não tenho nada. Eu tô muito infeliz.
Oh, I'm getting chills. Sorry, but and by the way, there's going to be a lot of pausing through this because it's a lot to take in, and like I said, I'm going to be talking about lyrics as well. Let's see how that goes. I just adore this makeup on her. It's so classic, and really accents her bone structure and lips and everything so nicely. But yeah, the from what I read, this EQUILIBRIVM 2 is very, very personal to her. That really delves into how she feels and her connection to her religion and all of those things, as well as getting grounded back into her own personal feelings. Really great way to start it off, to lay that groundwork that's what this is. Stepping her away from the pop star status and getting to her as a person. Wow.
Uma sensação de que eu tenho tudo, mas eu não tenho nada. Eu tô muito infeliz.
Cool jewelry on the fingers and all there.
Tem muita gente sorrindo pra você com veneno no dente, menino. Olho grande cobiçando a tua cadeira. Inveja, macumba. Muita macumba. A traição vem na sedução, como cobra rasteira. Sucesso.
Neat woman to play the tarot
Vai ter
reader.
O mundo inteiro na mão, mas o sol cega. Não cega? E toda luz que é forte demais faz uma sombra enorme nas tuas costas. Cuidado com o que te deslumbra.
Ooh, I like that. Oh,
o rato.
I missed that line.
O rato faz uma sombra enorme nas tuas
Huge
costas.
shadow on your back, beware of what dazzles you.
Cuidado com o que te deslumbra. O rato.
The rat.
O rato.
The rat gnaws silently the sadness of those who have succeeded in life.
Vai calado. A tristeza de quem venceu na vida, mas não consegue achar paz dentro da própria pele.
Wow. I like how she's just laying out her feelings like this.
Uma queda. Essa carta anuncia o que já não pode continuar.
To die.
Morrer pra renascer.
Oh, wow.
Tem coragem?
All right. Okay, let's jump into the lyrics real quick on this first part. Okay, now I've gone through and I've done a lot of doing phonetic translations so that I could try and pronounce these things correctly. But I'm sure that I'm going to get some of them wrong, okay? So the name of this first song is Pravusha Gusta de Mim, which is For You to Like Me. And you'll see in the making of, I've written everything out phonetically to do my best. But of course, some of the pronunciations are going to be a little off depending on, you know, whether it's the Portuguese or the, you know, the different dialects and things like that. So in this one, she was paying direct tribute to Carmen Miranda, of course. And apparently Carmen Miranda, I think, had a classic song that one of the lines in it was, I did everything for you to like me. And this song is called For You to Like Me. So a little reference there. Yeah, so it's like what I was saying earlier. It's saying that this is like showing a transition from her as the pop star into this kind of place of pure vulnerability. And there's the focus on water and mud, directly nods to Nana, the oldest female Orisha, associated with the primordial mud, the cycle of life, death, and spiritual rebirth, and is responsibility for an entrance, which can be reincarnation, or an exit, disincarnate portals. So she's basically referencing the Orisha that allows her to portal from, you know, moving on from what she was to becoming something new. So there we go. See what I mean by a whole lot to reference here. Let's get back into it. And like I say, there will be a lot of references through here. And where she's singing this kind of like a love song, it also is basically singing to the public that what do I have to do for you to love me, because I've done all these things and you love me for that, but I want you to love me for who I am, not the character I have to put on or the person I have to make myself to be. And I mean, we all want that, right? All right, the next song that's coming up is Feitiço, which is with Marta Malia, maybe? Marta Malia? She's apparently samba royalty, and this song is called Spell. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to break it down as we go. Sorry that this is going to be so erratic, but if you want to understand the video, this is the only way to really do it.
Morrer pra renascer. Tem coragem?
Wow, beautiful lashes. And the symbolism all throughout, I'll put in the written. Oh, Crossroads again, the Pombagira. And Exu has probably a... Oh, wow! Beautiful. Look at all these awesome costumes. Ooh. This is like a visual feast, isn't it? I like the change in rhythm. Oh, holding a trident. which I assume ties to the water. Oh, nice hip movement. Okay, I got to pause there. Now we're to the part where we're really getting into, I think it's candomblé, and a Brazilian dance as a form of worship and things like that, if I remember correctly. And wow, this one is just a stunning little feast of costuming. Now keep in mind, you all have seen this video, I'm sure, and so now we're to breaking it all down. Really love the instrument choices through here also. The fact that everything it just feels so organic. Okay, I think I saw something about all of this being adorned with, I'll have to see it a little closer, but I think there are cowrie shells and keys and protective amulets, I guess you'd call them, protective things worked into the costuming. But I'm going to break down the costuming as well, so we'll get there. But I love the music on this. I wonder if there she's representing Pombagira. Maybe she's representing different orishas. I love that timing change so much. Oh, did you hear that? That went across. Woo! I just love that little hip shimmy. Of course, it helps when you have a figure like hers that allows those movements to look more dynamic. Huh. I love how so much of this is focused on traditional imagery to tie in with the different orishas and the religion itself. Ooh, nice animation. Oh, there are those speakers that they were... Yeah. Hold on, I want to go look at the imagery of this. Yeah, I bet that I could break down so many things just through this. And of course, don't laugh at me for my pronunciations. I'm doing the best I can. But down here, yeah, here are the speakers and all that were in the second video I did of hers. I can't remember which one it was, off of EQUILIBRIVM. Oh, look at this. And then the heart with all the nails in it. Oh, wow. And the flowers and all growing out of her mouth. But the speakers are apparently part of the whole scene of dance parties and things like that. And it's I'll put what they reference when I can. Look at that. You got the peppers. So much imagery through this. Ooh. Where are we? 649. I feel like we're transitioning to the next song. And for the people that say, well, you didn't get the flow of the whole video, I'll be doing that after I do this, but you know, there's a lot to break down.
Nem tudo é feitiço.
Not everything is witchcraft.
Nem tudo é macumba. Nem tudo é o outro que te causa. É claro que isso também existe. Mas quem comanda a sua vida é você. Quando a cabeça não tá boa, nada funciona. É fácil jogar a culpa na inveja, no olho grande e não perceber que a grande responsabilidade...
Wow. Sorry, but man, she is so dynamic looking in all of her looks. Whew. Just a stunning woman.
Mas quem comanda a sua vida é você. Quando a cabeça não tá boa, nada funciona.
And I like this whole thing of you're in control of your own life. You can't let others'
no olho grande e não perceber
opinions of you control it for you.
Que a grande responsável pela sua mudança é você mesma.
I think the tulips have a meaning as well.
Chama-se Bori. E é uma grande oferenda à sua própria cabeça, que é seu orixá primordial. Cuida do seu ori, minha filha, e deixa a magia acontecer. Assuma a grandiosidade do seu ori. Assuma o seu ori.
Embrace your orixá. Oh, what a beautiful peacock. So she's talking through that song about transformation, basically, and not lowering your head to people that are coming at you. And she's gotten a lot of that from this album itself. But yeah, she's gotten a whole bunch of that from this album, and the different direction and leaning into Yoruba religion and candomblé and all of that. Because it's looked down upon by some parts of Brazilian society and all that. So she's basically reclaiming who she is and saying that I'm in control of who I am, and the opinions of others and all that are not going to shape me. I'm going to shape myself. And that's what she's doing here. And I got to say, I haven't gone into her older music and all that, but when I do, it'll be interesting to look at it from her perspective of what got her to be a big name, and then now, you know, really leaning into who she is as a person. Man, I could go on for hours on just the imagery in this. And I love the little snippets in between to give us her thinking
Cuida do seu ori, minha filha,
and the advice
e
she's
deixa a
probably
magia
gotten
acontecer.
along the way.
Assuma a grandiosidade do seu ori. Assuma o seu orixá.
I wonder if that's just an elder or if it's her actual dad. But man, she is just such a dynamically amazing movement and form, and just a classic beauty, you know?
Água corre nos pés, água doce pra inundar.
Love the drums in this.
Água pra me lavar, água pra benzer e pra curar.
Ooh, that was beautiful, wasn't it? And now I like the softer lipstick. Wow.
Colorido ar com girassóis no espelho d'água, meu tesouro. Eu agradeço por cada escolha, abundância em cada gota.
I wonder if the yellow represents that the Orisha that has to do with water and all that Beyonce references. Can't wait to see which one she's referencing there. Okay, I want to see this outfit. Okay, so there we got the cowrie shells and all of that tied in again. I think this might be the outfit that has all of the protective stuff, integrated into it. The charms and things like that. I'm not sure. It hadn't come close enough for me to see. But I love, too, where she's shooting all of this. All of it feels very organic. There's not any flashy pop stuff going on. It's all grounded and back to earth. I mean, look at the beauty of this shot here with the green and the way they lit it. Ugh.
Água pra me lavar, água pra benzer e pra curar.
I love that shot there.
Sol de ouro brilha
But the softness of that lip color is so perfect.
Colorido ar com girassóis no espelho d'água, meu tesouro. Eu agradeço por cada escolha, abundância em cada gota.
Look at that, that's beautiful.
Reconheço tudo que é seu.
Oh, did you hear that little ding over here from the guitar? I love the way she's spreading out the backup so much and giving it a chorus feel. You know, like a community supporting her. Great percussion choices. You hear that? And the younger voices in there, I think, mixed in. I just love this acoustic that comes in over to the side once in a while. These interludes, though, really, I'm going to listen to the album itself, maybe separately.
É aqui que tudo se acaba. Quando a gente morre, tudo que a gente pensa que era nosso vai pros outros. O único bem que nunca foi emprestado.
What a great line. The only commodity that has ever been lent out is time. Wow. When we die, everything we thought was.
Se acaba. Quando a gente morre, tudo que a gente pensa que era nosso vai pros outros. O único bem que nunca foi emprestado é o tempo.
It's time when you come here to be near your
quando
people.
Vier pra cá, pra perto do seu povo.
I like, too, that she seems to be tying this to her real family.
É bom conquistar,
Huh.
É bom. Uai, a matéria também é benção. Só que ela não mata a fome da alma. Só atravessa o peito da gente aquilo que é sentido. O amor.
Let me run that back.
Único bem.
Sorry, he jumped down and distracted me.
Você quer ter gastado seu tempo com o quê? É bom conquistar, É bom. Uai, a matéria também é benção. Só que ela não mata a fome da alma. Só atravessa o peito da gente.
I feel like what she's saying here, I'll bring this closer so you can hear him. I feel like what she's saying here is that all of the adoration and all that came with fame is great on the surface, but it's not true love that comes to you as a person. And that the time you spend trying to achieve that wasn't necessarily a waste because it got you to a certain place in your life, but it is not the be-all and end-all of who you are. That you're so much more than that. And you want things to touch your heart, not just your head, you know? And the next song is Sem Pressa. It's called No Rush. Sem Pressa is meditation on patience and inner peace. Invites the audience to slow down and enjoy life with more tranquility. The song also inspires the album's visuals, which address the the finitude of existence, and the importance of gratitude in the face of difficulties. So, cool.
Aquilo que é sentido, o amor que a gente deu, o amor que a gente recebeu. Esse que é a fortuna. Vai, Fia. Vai sem pressa.
The important thing is not to be first.
Não é ser primeiro, não.
The important thing is to
abrir caminho.
pave the way.
Ooh. É abrir caminho. Protege o destino da minha filha.
Com as pedras de caminho eu faço pedreira. Contra uma olhada banha de aroeira. Você pode tentar mais comigo, ninguém pode. Atrás da minha porta, espada de São
Like the
Jorge.
nails.
Sempre fui do corre, nunca fui por sorte. Sigo o meu peito, faço ali de norte. Muito distante, lugar que não existe, não. De cabeça erguida, te ofereço meu sorriso. Se o dia
And you notice nothing has been really overperformed. It's all very fluid movements.
Não vou reclamar por isso, eu sigo. Vou passeando devagar.
Whoa.
Com calma pra aproveitar. Prefiro até me atrasar. Porque a vida com pressa não presta.
I'm sorry, I want to look at her makeup again. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful job. I mean, look at that, the rustic colors and all that. I do love the way she's used color and all that and the settings to progress the story of moving from a flashy pop star life to maybe a blend of that part of her with who she is deep down and her, you know, religious roots and all of those things, that all of this can exist together. Because here there are the bright colors and all that, but it's still a very natural way of contouring and doing all the makeup that I really think works extremely well. All right, so coming up is Deus Mãe, the God the Mother featuring King Saints. Oh, it's inspired by memories of her grandmother and mother. The track celebrates the role of mothers as responsible for giving life and enabling the evolution of their children. Sorry, my cat's being annoying. It's nice having the background on this to know what the story is she's trying to tell, because she told the album through chapters. Let's get back into it. I wish I could just stop on every scene and every costume and reference it, but I'll try and do the best I can with what I add at the bottom.
Aquilo que é sentido, o amor que a gente deu, o amor que a gente recebeu. Esse que é a fortuna.
But trust me, I will be going and watching this just straight through.
Vai sem pressa. O importante não é ser primeiro, não.
I love that. Go without rushing.
Abre caminho.
And the thing about the important thing is to pave the way.
Abre caminho.
That even if someone's done it before, they were laying the groundwork for you, and now you're paving the way for others. Love that wall of, you know, just, I don't know the word I'm looking for. I love the way she's going up there. I just love this one. This one has such a joy to it in a way. Well, joyful reverence is what she's going for, I think. That yellow looks beautiful with this setting. That takes Flower Girl to the next level. I like that. And a little da-da-da-da-pop-pop. The contrast of the voices really makes this feel very fresh. You hear that? She gave me good seed. Huh. She gave you very good seed. Oh, I wonder if that's her real mother. Wow. I love her sharing her heart like this, you know? Ooh. I'm sorry, I gotta look at that. That crocheted dress. Yeah, I think it's all crocheted. Oh, the big gold things on her elbows are interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that. God, once again, everything feels so organic and grounded. It's just exactly what it should be for this. And I'm really impressed. I just love short films like this that tell the story and all that. I want to look at lyrics themselves for a second. All right, so I blew past Feitiço. All right, let me go to the lyrics on those. So we had Spell. I really like the chorus of Feitiço. With this, they put a spell on the crossroads to knock me down, but I'm from there. It won't knock me down. I really like that imagery. It's like saying that there's something trying to bar her from who she is deep down and where she came from. And a lot of the public has done that in trying to not let her change who her public persona is, even though, of course, they complained about that too. So, you know, no-win situation, right? Let me get to the next one. Spell Sem Pressa, which was no rush. And I really love this line right here. I'm walking in Sem Pressa. I'm walking slowly, calmly to enjoy. I prefer to be late because life in a hurry is no good. That's a really great line, and something, you know, I'm not a fan of people being late, and I hate being late myself, but I get what she's saying there is I would rather be late to something and have taken the time and enjoyed getting there than to just constantly be rushing to be on time and let all the things that I could have enjoyed on the way there pass me by. Really, really nice. The next one, I'm just pointing out the lyrics that jump out of me of the different ones as they come up, because we're coming up on Deus Mãe, God the Mother. And then she mentions Gaia. Huh. It's interesting. Oh, well, Gaia is the godmother, isn't it? Isn't that nature, you know, kind of like Mother Nature in a way, but the force of nature, if I remember correctly. I've seen some anime. So she's kind of saying, too, in here that part of why she's doing, you know, part of why she's happy for her success and all of that is that it allows her to take care of her mother and her grandmother and all of them, as well as, you know, the embrace of all of the things that have gotten her here, and then trying to embrace nature and all that along the way, I think. Okay, let's get back to it. I just love that crochet dress, though. And I love all the different places her voice is going with, none of it sounding strained. Look at that, it's beautiful with the candlelight. The use of the stereo field in these mixes is really nice. That's why I may do the actual album if I can find time, but don't rush me on it.
escolher pra florescer. Quando fica pesado, divide comigo. Mas que minha mãe é o meu ombro amigo, que me acolhe, menina, me move. Eu quero ter saúde, dinheiro e muita sorte. Pra
nice
cuidar de
flow
você
to
até
her
na
rap
hora da
style.
partida. Te dar os netos bonitos e uma casa com piscina. O meu cabelo é igual o seu, eu falo igual você. Sua maluquice eu herdei, não
And I wonder if that's her actual
Louvo
mother.
toda a bênção que me concebeu. Em cada matriarca eu enxergo Deus.
Boy, lots and lots of shells and things like that in this. I like the leaning on the animation and all that. Oh, I just love her dancing. I really do. You could probably spend 20 minutes breaking down what's in the animation. That white peacock is beautiful though, isn't it? Ooh, nice rich voice underneath. Ooh, gotta pause there. There we go. I don't know why, I just wanted that Hazy Shades of Winter eye look off. All of these crocheted clothes and all, you know, once again, very just all organic feeling. The other thing I was noticing is the lightness in her. In her performance through all of this, she has a determination in parts of it, but just the lightness in her face and the storytelling through her body and all that and the movement, it just has a real feeling of joy and reverence. So let's get back into it. But the coloring within that crocheted dress is really pretty. That's cool. Woo! Cheeky. I like that.
Os humanos estão aceitando.
That wasn't the voice I was expecting.
A humilhante condição de consumir a terra.
Oh, love the power in that.
Os orixás, assim como os ancestrais indígenas e de outras tradições, instituíram mundos aonde a gente pudesse experimentar a vida. Cantar e dançar, mas parece que a vontade
the will of those in power
é empobrecer a existência. Nos alienamos desse organismo de que somos parte, passando a pensar que a Terra é uma coisa e nós, humano, outra.
Oh, love that look.
É a natureza.
You know what I think he's saying, or, you know, what she's saying through that? I think what she's saying is that we as humans have gotten so, you know, and the music industry and all that have gotten so processed and so far away from it being, you know, everything has to be perfect 440 pitch, and it's taking the humanity out of music. And that by letting go of those things and letting the humanity come out of music to make it perfect or more impactful, that we're really diminishing music as an overall thing, and in so diminishing ourselves as artists by giving up our humanity for perfection, or for clicks, or, you know, all of those things. Really neat message and a neat way to tell it.
É a natureza.
And I think she's showing how you can blend the two. You can blend what we've gotten with all the production and everything, but tie it in with traditional sounds and give your music a depth. That's she's got a really big heart. But I like the heart is even made of an organic thing. Ooh, I love the lower voices in here. I'll look up the lyrics on this in a second. This is very catchy. It makes you want to sing along. You hear that mixing in techno sounds? Ooh. Ooh, love the feel of this track. You know, it's funny. It almost feels like the music in Blade in the I guess we'll call it the Blood Club. It just has that just a real driving primal feel to it, but it's also got a modern techno sound mixed in with it. It's really, really interesting. I'm going to look at the lyrics on this real quick. Oh wow, we've jumped a couple songs through here. We have No Sou Santa, which is I'm Not a Saint, and then okay, we got those two, and then we're coming up on Grosso. And the names of those, the No Sou Santa. No Sou Santa is I'm Not a Saint. Oak is Oak. And Grosso is Coarse Salt. So that's pretty cool. As far as the story goes, tribute to her family's devotion to Our Lady, which is Our Lady of Fatima. Catholic title, the Portuguese is a Catholic title of Mary, Mother of Jesus. And there was a lot of Yoruba religion and all that having to be blended with Catholicism and all that when I believe it was West African slaves were brought to Brazil. They were brought to Brazil to be slaves. So there was a blending of all of that because, you had to assimilate into what they were pushing, but also in embracing that and mixing the Yoruba religion and candomblé and all of these different things into it, it became a whole nother thing, but integrated lots of the elements of different religions. Really interesting, and you all can correct me on all of that. I am sure I am getting parts of it wrong, but it's what I'm remembering from what I read, but I will give you something more. I'm Not a Saint celebrates the faith transmitted between generations and the feeling of spiritual protection which is present in her life. She says that her family's always been very devoted to Our Lady. Explains that she wanted to include in the album a track that represented this place of my family and the unconditional love associated with the figure of the saint. So that was that earlier part. Okay, now we're getting into Oak, Nature and Native Peoples proposing a balance between technology and ancestral wisdom, which this track is doing perfectly. Wow. And then Anitta said, there is no other way to use technology if not for the ancestral wisdom of the forests. That is really cool. And then we'll get into Coarse Salt here in a minute. I don't think we're there yet. But wow, I am so impressed with probably the months or year that went into getting all this together and planning it out and making it come to fruition. I love those lower voices mixed in. And the little... I can't roll my tongue. Roll my R's. Woo! That little... The rhythmic nature. It's almost pointing out that rap is nothing but the rhythmic nature of like tribal sound but using it in a new way. So I like all the technological stuff moving up into the organic. That's cool. God damn, she's beautiful. Oh, I love that, showing a bunch of indigenous people and... Boy, this thing deserves awards, doesn't it? But it's got such competition these days. Oh, and I'm assuming this is all traditional candomblé type dance. Oh, love the tribal nature of this. It's very cool.
Sabe bem como é que é. Coração de malandro bate lá só lá do pé. Tem o santo forte, tem o erva da Guiné.
Before we get too much further, I want you to listen to the production on this guy's voice. People don't realize how often there's layering on a single voice. Anyway, you'll sing something like, and I... But on top of that is, and I, or, and I. And then sometimes just a, and I, you know, something underneath. And then all that's blended together into the one voice that you hear, but with a little bit of coloring from the top and the bottom and maybe held single notes. It's done all the time in things, and if you listen for it, you can hear it, but it's almost imperceptible if you're not listening for it. But listen to it in this guy's rap, or you know, this guy's part, and you'll hear the layering of all the different parts. I mean, harmony is basically that, just boosted in the mix. Man, I love her voice on this. But listen, you got a real low and higher. Tem o santo forte, tem o erva da Guiné. Antes do primeiro gole, sempre sal do seu Zé. Acendi aquela vela que trouxe do mercadão. Não saio de casa sem a minha proteção. Em dia de baile sempre tem paredão. Oh man, I love these movements. Oh! And I like how much of the music has dropped out. Sorry, that caught me by surprise. I'm a fan of side boob, you know, and neat, with neat outfitting and all that. It's just a sexy look. And that comes from my photography and all that, because I am a fan of not nude as much as semi-nude and allusions to sensuality and all that, which is, you know, so looked down on in certain parts of U.S. society, whereas Brazilians are much more open to embracing sensuality parts of it. You know, there are parts of every society that look down on things like that, but I like that she embraces it in a way that is more sensual than sexual. I really appreciate that about her. You know, most artists, that's what I prefer. The other thing I want to point out is I did not know how much, you know, because with doing Beyonce and going into Black history and into people being brought here from Africa and slavery and all that, I did not know how many places had West Africans and all that taken to be slaves in other countries, and how much of the African diaspora had spread all over the globe. I'm just learning all this because, you know, it's not something that they really teach in school a whole lot. and definitely less now here in the States if, you know, this idiot has his way. So let's get back into it, and I'll look at, you know what? Yeah, I'll get back into it, and then I'll look at the lyrics. I love that. That's a beautiful look there. And honestly, a lot of the costuming here being that is embracing when people didn't feel like they had to cover themselves so much to conform. There's a reason a lot of young kids, when I was growing up, like National Geographic to see the pictures of natives and all that weren't as covered. See, listen, they're mixing in that techno feel and all that. What a perfect blending. Butt bongos. The percussion in this album is just freaking amazing. Okay, let me look up the lyrics on that whole section, because wow, that was awesome. So that song was Coarse Salt, and it says Anitta said the dance has the power to heal, which it does. I mean, I like that. Explains the track was created to make the audience shake everything and drive away negative energies through movement. I really love that whole idea. So much cool thinking. And the thing is, when you read what she's trying to convey, you really get the sense, you know, when you read it, you go, wow, that's exactly what she was conveying there. She's definitely nailed the intent of what she's trying to convey with all of this. It's really, really well done. And the coloring of it is beautiful. You notice not a whole lot of cold blues and all that. You've got very warm colors through most of this. Oh, cowrie shells again.
Você sabia que as crianças conseguem controlar o destino e a vida? Só a criança é capaz de assumir a sombra e a luz. Em nós não há bem nem mal, não há limite nem medo. O quê? Você desaprendeu a acreditar?
Now are we back to representing Exu and all of that again?
Olha o beija-flor, livre a voar.
Start dreaming again, love without mystery.
Sem pose de sério, volte a sonhar, amar sem mistério. O mundo é teatro, a gente que se enrola.
What we got tangled up
Criança é
in.
passarinho.
I like the layered right here. I almost feel like this is saying... I love the blend of animation with real life. It almost feels like what that was saying was, don't let yourself be caged by the constrictions of society and all that want to keep you from that freedom. And here again, she just feels very light and free in her portrayal. And I think she's probably representing different Orishas through here. Yeah, I would bet that's what it is. And maybe also like tarot cards and all that, different parts of tarot. If a hummingbird wants to fly, let it fly. Beautiful harmony there. Just look at the lightness in her. None of this looks like she's working at it. It just feels like the joy you get when your creative vision comes to fruition. I said that earlier, but every bit of this costuming is beautiful. And the coloring. Ooh, wow. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Look at that soft color that matches her lipstick almost, it looks like, on her eyelids, you know, with the beautiful blending. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me see what this song is. So this one is Abre, Caminho, and it's Blaze the Trail featuring Alexander Carlo, the lead singer of the Brazilian reggae group Nati Roots, maybe. Anyway, this one is a reggae feel, of course. All right, it's really neat. This song is representing the elements of foro. It uses a metaphor of garden to talk about freedom of love without strings attached. And that has to do with relationships based on respect for individual growth, whether it's between couples or between parents and children. And I mean, it really sounds like it's just saying that you don't have to have those binds in order for love to flourish, and that you don't have to have a reason to love, or you know, strings attached to tie to that love. Saying that love is like a garden that you take care of. Anitta said, love is like a garden that you take care of, arguing that each person should be free to discover who they really are. And I think that's what she's looking for with this album. She's hoping that her fans will still love her for who she is, and not necessarily the persona. And, you know, all of that was part of who she was, but I think it was also living within the system that was built by the music industry. And now she is breaking out of that and has the freedom, you know, as directors do a lot of times. They get constrained by the studio and all that into making their vision have to fit within a box. But then once they get big enough, they can just throw the box away and make the film they want to make. And the next song is going to be Divino Sexual, is I think how you say it, which is sexual divine. And we'll be getting to that in a minute. And it's really cool because the next song is going to get into the sexual side of things and talk about sex as a sacred experience, defending an ancestral view that associates pleasure with the very origins of life. And that's that's something that I really think is missed in a culture that became so much about if you're not in a relationship and doing these things, that sex has to be constrained to the societal expectation, and that if you explore those things just as an enjoyment, that you're somehow a deviant, or, you know, just a slut, you know, by exploring your sexual freedom. And I'm all for that. I've been married a few times, but I've never felt that sex has to be tied to a relationship. It can also just be that the sex is the relationship in that moment. Yeah, because she says here that sex was seen as a miracle of life, and that the track celebrates the divine connection between two people. And so it's treating sex as something that is organic and something that is part of celebrating life, rather than having a stigma attached to it, because some people see it as, you know, behavior that is unbecoming of a true lady or a man. It's like, come on, people, grow the hell up. But yeah, I love that makeup. Okay, back into it.
Que foi que eu fiz do meu corpo, do meu caminho? Que mensagem que eu passei? As pedras que me atiram têm fundamento. Hoje eu escolho mudar o passo. Eu vou guiar minha vocação na direção da luz.
Love the little sounds off to the sides here. Wait, I missed what that said. Today I choose to change course. I will guide my calling in the direction of the light. Ooh. Wow.
Tanto conhecimento. E você entendeu tudo errado. Tudo errado. Tudo errado.
She has beautifully shaped lips,
É a
doesn't she?
mesma flecha de arrogância utilizada pelo teu réu.
Só que do lado oposto ao dele.
O inimigo vence quando ele descobre que você virou espelho dele.
Não aceite se partir em pedaços pra caber no mundo que nunca te quis por inteira.
Sagrado e profano.
Ooh, I really like what this part's saying.
Desde que o mundo é mundo, sexo é divino. O seu
Ooh,
corpo é fino.
that's a great place to pause it. For one, ooh, wow. I don't think I've seen the fingernails with the jewels hanging off of them like that. That's really unique. And as some of you all know, I mean, I do photography and all that as well, and photo retouching and makeup and all that. And it's why I geek out on so much of this stuff, because I'm all about great face structure and lip shape. And, you know, I focus in on those things because I can't help it. I've grown up doing this and being an artist and all that. I focus on these things as part of what I was trying to achieve. So, you know, it does make me have a little bit more focus on it than some other people. And, you know, I get that stigma from comments of, if you appreciate beauty and sex and all of those things, that just makes you a pervert. And it's like, Jesus, people, can't you just appreciate things for what they are and appreciate? If you appreciate artwork, it doesn't mean that you want to have sex with it, you know? It's appreciating beauty for beauty's sake. And of course, you know, the fact that a lot of what she does is sensual in its way is going to elicit a sensual feeling. And that's not wrong. It's not bad. It's only bad if you make it a bad thing. Just like language. You know, cuss words and all that are only cuss words because somebody decided that that word was not acceptable. And I don't agree with that. I think they're all just words. It depends on how you use them. It's the use of a word that makes it too aggressive or demeaning and all of that. It's not the word itself. Sorry about that little rant, but I get tired sometimes of the constrictions of society.
Andam lado a lado. Desde que o mundo é mundo, sexo é divino. O seu corpo é
I just love the... Oh, I can't wait to see this whole outfit.
Teu desejo não apaga a tua sensualidade.
A tua sensualidade
I bet
não
this
pode
is
ser
going to be
arma de
beautiful.
justiça.
Liberte-se do julgamento.
Proud. I see me whole and proud.
Com orgulho. Entenda de uma vez, mulher. Essa dança é ritual.
É cura.
A sensualidade é a tua
Healing
permissão
sensuality is
de
your
sentir
permission.
prazer. Renegar tua história.
Wow.
Levar a roda por pura ingratidão. Junta tudo que você é. Pisa forte.
Couldn't have said it better myself, just that whole thing.
Vai ver estrelas e eu nem tô falando das do céu. Marca de sol que
Oh,
acende mais
wow.
desejos pra essa noite. Vou te mostrar.
Oh, I got chills right now, and I love the red on the fingers, which I'll look up what that means. Yes. I love arm work and the representation of different religious symbols. Her voice sounds so smooth through this. Wow. Oh. I love the look with the blue light. The way, oh, wow. The coloring and all is gorgeous. You know what I like about the music in this one? Okay, for one thing, this outfit is amazing, and the fact that it's all gold, but it's also shells and representing organic things within it, that's neat as crap. And I love the blend of the gold and the red. It's so, well, it's very sensual. What I like about the music in this is it's got that, is that a bossa nova beat or something like that? I'll have to look up and see what that rhythm is, but that's what came to mind. But I like that some songs, just the music sounds sexy, and it just has this sexual sound to it. Whereas this, she's singing about sex and she's singing about it as a joy and a celebration. And that's what it feels like, but it has this cool little groove undertone to it. It's really, really a unique approach to it. And then look at the blue. My goodness, this is one of the most stunning short films or videos I've seen for the imagery. And it doesn't, it helps that she is who she is. But it's like even embracing, that group of people just enjoying each other. I'll read the lyrics to this in a minute. Oh, I love that little arm roll. And I like too that all the bodies in here, there's not a lot of bare skin. It's the movement is what's making it feel sensual. Okay, we're going into a whole nother thing. So I want to read the lyrics real quick on that song. Rio is like, oh, let me tell you what a night of love in Rio is like. That's such a great opening line to that, because once you mention Rio and you get the idea of more of a freer feel in society, from a foreigner's perspective, Rio has a feel of like Carnival and all this kind of stuff. So it gives an image to people like me. Ooh, I got to look this up. I'll show you the whole swing of Pedro do Sol. Sweaty body rocks me till 12. I like this. Share the night with me, frequency rises, begin a tantra quietly. The sensual is also divine, and you always knew. But saying it like that feels like doing a sex act. As when it says tantra, I think of tantric sex, or maybe it's tantric sex. But it's taking your time with it and exploring the whole sexual encounter as a journey and something to take your time with, rather than let's just go pound one out, and which is fine. But myself, I prefer the journey. Because that's usually about pleasing the other person more than yourself, and that's why you take your time with it. Because if you're just about pleasing yourself, you can be one and done, and that's good to go. But not what I like. See the city, and I really like too that this whole thing is called Sexual Divine. So celebrating sex as a part of life and something to be celebrated, and yet the lyrics are not sexual really at all. They're more about the attitude of exploring that. So that's really neat. I'll go into the next one. You know what? I'm going to read the lyrics first on this one and see what it's all about. So this one's Ponta Do Pé, which is Tiptoe, inspired by Samba de Grafieira, something like that. Ponta Do Pé pays tribute to a dance style that marked Anitta's adolescence and strengthened her relationship with her family. Track conveys lightness, happiness, and reinforces the role of dance as an instrument of healing, a recurring theme on the album, of course. Anitta said, the Samba de Grafiera, sorry about that pronunciation, does me so much good. I feel so happy and light, remembering the nights when she danced with her parents in Rio de Janeiro. Okay, cool. And I think we're actually getting to the end of the album, or the end of the short film. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Rosto colado, balanças e beijos te trago. Propostas à frente do bar.
Oh, I could see where this kind of music and dancing would just be joyous. Oh, love this dancing with the partnering. Because we haven't seen partnering through here much. And another crochet dress. Oh, beautiful, beautiful music. Let's make beautiful music together. I like the little with the feet. I've always loved that move. What a great way if this is how she ends the short film. Oh, the lightness. Okay, we're going to pause it right there. It's a good place to pause it. What I love about the dancing in here, because we haven't gotten much partner dancing through this whole video. It's been mostly individual. To see the partner dancing and following the two songs before, talking about relationships can be just about the joy and the enjoying each other and exploring whether you're in a committed one or not. And the like right here, dance is just about the joy of it. And it's one of the things I love about this style of dance is the fact that it's like the feet barely touch the ground. You know, they're constantly, there's a lightness to it. And when you touch the ground and ground for a second, it just leads into the lightness of the next section. And can I just say, this red on her with her hair down and the beautiful makeup that matches the dress and those gorgeous legs. I mean, look at that calf. You know, but she's got a dancer's body, and that's always appealing. So let's get back into it because it's powerful. A dancer's body is very often, you know, very long and lithe, but has a power to it. All right. But look at the dancing. It's very flowy and light. So it's a samba. Ooh, I love that. Oh.
Exu chegou para rejeitar
os
extremos da tua moral. Senhor dos caminhos cruzados, dos encontros e desencontros. Eu sou o elo entre a terra e os espíritos. Transito em todos os lugares. Eu rejeito a dualidade porque sou carne. Estou em você. Estou entre vocês. Vivendo as contradições e os prazeres. Eu não sou mau. Eu testo. Eu desafio. Eu ensino pelo peso das suas escolhas.
I didn't expect to actually see a true representation of Eshu through here.
Eu não abro o seu caminho. Eu apenas escancaro o que você tem medo de enfrentar. Eu sou o equilíbrio entre a ordem e o caos. A energia vital. A força que movimenta a vida.
If I remember, he guards the crossroads or something like that, or is it?
Exu.
Ooh, another chill, because that's an awesome image. So now is she representing Eshu in this part? Because Eshu and Pombajira and all of that is intertwined. Let me check that and make sure I've got that right, because if I remember, that's what the deal is. That they're like two sides. Hopefully I didn't miss anything big, because my camera shut off before my alarm went off, so I don't know if I missed anything. So the candomblé is a meaning dance in honor of the gods, is Afro-Brazilian religion developed during, I explained all that earlier, which has a lot to do with what's gone on through here. Okay, and I want to just say, because of that section that we were just in before this, some of the quotes from Anitta that I really like through here. She says, "I gave myself completely to this album. Anyone who listens to it will feel that. These songs reflect so much of my spirituality, my way of seeing the world, the expressions of Brazilian culture that inspire me, and they also carry autobiographical nuances. To me, dance, sensuality, and the body in motion have the power to heal and elevate. That's why it was so important for the production to be unapologetically dance-driven, to celebrate the ritualistic energy and the spiritual strength behind it." All of that, I just find her whole approach to this thing has been amazing. And it's interesting that she went to the Exu stuff at the end about the crossroads and that it almost took a darker tone at the end in a way. But anyway, let's get back into it. What a neat way of doing that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody do that quite that way. God, I love the... It's like a celebration, but it's like you need to throw yourself fully into it. Because if you don't let yourself go and embrace all of it, the light and the dark and all of that, you're not your complete self. It's almost like an acknowledgement that all of those sides are you, without sacrificing.
Sem sacrificar nenhuma parte, me torno inteira. Encaro a morte, escolho renascer.
Oh, what a beautiful shot. Oof, I just got a chill just from the fact that it was ending there. Gave me a chill in that she summed it all up so perfectly at the end. And I like this music for the credits. Oh, did you hear how the rhythm almost changed? I want to go back. I know it's just a musical thing, but listen how you wouldn't expect the rhythm that came in from the music that starts. So you get like this feel to it. Dun, 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 dun. And then when the drums come in, they have a whole different feeling. Now we're Oh, is this a 7/8? If you kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. At least that's the way I'm hearing it in my head, which really gives it a neat feel. Really, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1. But for some reason it had that 7 feel to me early. Oh, there are those great chorusy backgrounds that have sounds like children mixed in within. But maybe it's just singing differently. I'll have to look up what this song is, because I don't think it listed it, but it's probably there. But I love the music of it to end the movie with, or well, the short film. I tell you, the entire cast had the right look for what she was portraying. And the choreography, and I mean, there was so much I couldn't talk about because there was so much going on that I would have loved to have gone into more depth on. But I'm already going to get people complaining that I talk too much and that I pause too much and all of that. But all of you all have seen this. And what I'm trying to do is give new information and context for what this was from my, I would say limited research, but I mean, I went pretty damn in depth. As much as I could. I really love the call and response feel of this. If she sings it, then the choir comes in. So you tell me, do you think that she was trying to be representative of something with that, or was it just the design? That is it, guys. Now I will say that was, this was a lot of work to go into this, but it was well worth it to be able to have the references to understand the story she was telling, because I could have just watched it and gone, "Ooh, that's pretty, I like the dancing, cool music." But I don't think that was giving reverence and weight to what she created and the reason she created it, as well as that it was conveying who she is as a person. And so I believe that demanded the respect that hopefully I gave it, and hopefully you all appreciate. So I've still got the ones that were left from the first album. There's like 3 more videos I think that I didn't do, but I will do them. But I wanted to get this one out. I know it took me a little while, but at least it's done. And hopefully to you quickly. Hopefully it didn't get blocked, because I have had real problems with her videos of getting them blocked, demonetized, all these different things. So anyway, if you want to help me out, do my Patreon or become a member. Please, everybody that watched this video, at least subscribe to the channel and comment if you can. I would really appreciate it, and it would so help me out. I don't, beg for it that often, but this time I am. All right, guys. I will see you all next time. You have a great day, great night, great life. Love you. Bye.